Hello everyone, have a nice day. Today we're going to follow Jack and Tu Tien as they step away from the noise and return to the farm, where quiet moments can feel like medicine, and even a simple day can heal what the heart has been carrying. We'll see Tu Tien slowly breathe again, laugh again, and let herself feel safe, while Jack stays close, gentle and patient, trying to protect her from pressure. But when a small secret starts to slip through his silence, everything turns tender and tense. If you find it interesting, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. Let's begin. You keep touching your pocket. Tu Tien's spoon hovered in mid-air like an accusation. Jack froze, just for a heartbeat, his soup bowl halfway to his lips. The orchard breeze slipped under the shade tree and lifted a strand of her hair, but her eyes didn't move. They stayed on him, sharp, knowing, almost amused. "It's nothing," Jack said, forcing a quiet laugh that didn't reach his eyes. Tu Tien leaned in, softer now, like she didn't want to scare the truth away. "Jack, I know you. When you're nervous, you hide things in silence." Jack swallowed, his fingers curled once around the fabric of his pocket, an unconscious reflex. And then he let his hand fall to his knee, as if discipline could erase suspicion. Tu Tien's smile tugged at the corner of her mouth. "So what is it?" Jack met her gaze, gentle and steady. "Eat first." Her eyes narrowed. "That's not an answer." He didn't push. He didn't lie louder. He simply offered the calm he'd been carrying for her all day. "If it's too much, we stop." And that sentence, simple, patient, pulled her mind back to the morning, because the farm hadn't welcomed them with noise. It welcomed them with breathing. When Jack turned off the car at the wooden gate, neither of them moved for a moment. Tu Tien sat with both hands around a water bottle, staring at the orchard like it was a different world she didn't know how to enter anymore. Jack didn't ask her to explain. He only said, quietly, "No schedules today, just life." When she stepped onto the dirt path, the ground felt softer than the city, realer. She inhaled, and the breath went all the way down, as if her body remembered how to live before her mind did. They walked between rows of trees beaded with dew. Tu Tien reached out to touch a leaf, then pulled back, hesitating like peace was something fragile. "You can touch it," Jack murmured. "I know," she whispered, almost embarrassed. "I just forgot what peaceful feels like." "Then let this place remind you." They found the herb patch, mint, basil, lemongrass, and Tu Tien paused at the familiar scent. "It smells like home," Jack's voice was steady. "Because it is," she looked up fast. "Our home? Wherever you feel safe," he said, not rushing her. "That's home." In the shed, he handed her gloves like it was a gift. "We're doing farm therapy," she blinked. "Farm therapy? You water, you plant, you get dirt on your hands," Jack said, smiling like he'd discovered the simplest miracle. "You remember you're alive." Tu Tien surprised herself by laughing. Not small, not polite, real. They worked slowly. She watered seedlings, watched the soil darken, and something in her face softened. "They look fragile." Jack knelt beside her. "They're not as fragile as they look. They just need consistency." Her gaze lifted to his. "Like people." "Exactly." Even when his expensive sneakers got dirty, he only shrugged. "Good. They were too clean." And her laughter came again, brighter, like she was returning to herself in small pieces. Then Mrs. Loy's name flashed on Jack's phone. He silenced it without looking, but not before Tutien noticed the affectionate contact photo. "She worried?" Tutien asked. Jack's eyes warmed. "She texted this morning, told me to make sure you eat something warm. She cares, even when she pretends she's strict." Tutien's throat tightened. "Tell her thank you." "I will," Jack promised, "when you're ready." And now, under the shade tree, soup between them, her playful suspicion returned. Because healing had made room for curiosity. "You planned this day," Tutien said, watching him too closely. "Yes," Jack admitted, calm, "all of it." "And you're still hiding something," she said, pointing lightly with her spoon again. Jack's smile flickered, tender, guarded. "Maybe." After lunch, he led her to the far end of the orchard, where the air turned cooler. Fresh soil waited beneath a big tree. He placed a sapling into her hands like it mattered. "A memory tree," he said. "A memory of what?" she whispered. Jack dug the hole slowly, then looked up at her. "A memory of the day your smile came back." Together, they set it in the earth. Their fingers brushed in the dirt, warm, human, alive. He tied a thin ribbon around the trunk, and it fluttered like a quiet promise. Tutien stared at the ribbon. "It's beautiful." "It's not finished," Jack said, eyes holding a secret behind them. He nodded toward the shed. "There's something I want to show you, but you have to promise you won't laugh." She stepped closer, curiosity sparking. "Now I have to see it." As they walked back, Tutien noticed the shed door, cleaned, almost prepared for a reveal. She turned to Jack slowly. "Jack, what did you do?" His fingers brushed that pocket again. The secret was still there. The shed smelled like dry wood and sunlight trapped in old boards. Jack opened the door slowly, like he was afraid noise could break the moment. Inside, it didn't look like a shed anymore. A small corner had been cleared and swept clean. A simple table sat under a warm lamp. On it, a bowl of oranges from the orchard, a folded scarf, soft, pale, like the kind a mother would insist you wear when the wind turns sharp. Beside it, a handwritten card. Tutien stepped in, blinking as if her eyes didn't trust what they were seeing. "Jack," he kept his voice low, "I didn't want the farm to just distract you. I wanted it to hold you." She walked closer. Her fingers hovered over the card before touching it. The handwriting wasn't Jack's. "You asked Mrs. Loy?" she whispered. Jack nodded, almost shy. "I told her you were coming back to the orchard. She didn't ask questions. She just said, 'Give her something warm, give her something steady.' And then she wrote that." Tutien opened the card carefully. "Con gai a neu con met, con jok fep ngi, neu con so, con jok fep nam tai ngoi yeu con, jung koman mot min." Her throat tightened. She tried to laugh it off, but the sound broke. "She always talks like she's scolding, but it's really love." Jack watched her like he was holding his breath for her next emotion. "You don't have to be tough here. Not with me." Tutien swallowed, then turned to him, eyes glossy. "So what are you hiding?" Jack hesitated, and the hesitation said more than any confession. Tutien took one step closer. "It's not nothing, Jack." He exhaled, finally letting the truth come out gently. "I bought it." Her eyes widened. "A ring." Jack's gaze dropped, not from shame, more like fear of pushing her too fast. "I was going to give it to you today." "And then?" Tutien asked softly, already sensing the answer. "And then I saw you at the gate," Jack said. "How you stood there like the world was too loud. And I thought, if I put a ring in front of you right now, it might feel like pressure instead of love." Tutien's breath trembled. "So you hid it." "I hid it," he admitted. "Not because I'm unsure about you, because I'm sure. And I didn't want to turn your healing into a deadline." Her eyes burned. She looked away, embarrassed by how fast tears arrived. Jack moved carefully, like approaching a wounded bird. "Tutien." She shook her head, wiping her cheek with the back of her hand. "It's just," her voice cracked. "I thought you were hiding it because you regretted me." Jack's face tightened with pain. "Never." He reached into his pocket at last. The small box sat in his palm, warm from being held too long. "I kept it close," he whispered, "because every time I touched it, it reminded me to be patient." Tutien stared at the box like it was both a dream and a test. "Are you giving it to me, or asking me to wear it?" Jack didn't open it yet. He only held it out, steady. "I'm giving it to you," he said. "Not as a trap, not as a promise you have to perform for, just a place to rest your heart when it gets tired." A quiet sob escaped her. She stepped forward and pressed her forehead to his chest. "You're stupid," she murmured through tears. "You could have just told me." Jack's arms wrapped around her, firm and safe. "I'm learning." Her hands clutched his jacket. "Then open it." Jack's fingers shook as he lifted the lid. The ring caught the lamplight. Simple, elegant, real. Tutien covered her mouth, eyes spilling over. Somewhere outside, Jack's phone buzzed again. He glanced at the screen, Mrs. Ly calling, then looked back at Tutien. Tutien gave a wet laugh. "Answer! I want her to hear me." Jack put the call on speaker. Mrs. Ly's voice came through, brisk as always. "Did she eat? Did you let her work too much?" Tutien leaned toward the phone, smiling through tears. "Con ate." Con laughed. "And Con is okay." A pause. Then, softer than she probably meant to be. "Good, don't make her cry." Tutien glanced at Jack, then down at the ring. "It's too late, me." Jack's laugh was shaky. "She's crying because of me." Mrs. Ly huffed, but her voice warmed. "Then make it worth it." Jack lifted Tutien's hand slowly, waiting, always waiting. Tutien nodded, barely breathing. "Put it on."
Hello everyone, in this episode, Jack brings Tutien back to the orchard for a quiet day of form therapy, letting her water sitting, touch leaf and laugh again without pressure. The calm feels fragile but real until Tutien notices Jack repeatedly touching his pocket and also expressed he is doing something. After lunch, they plan a memory tea to mark the day her smile returns. Jack then lets her into a clean-up shed from into a warm corner with oranges, a scarf, and a handwritten card from Miss Lloyd telling Tutien she's allowed to rest and hold her loved one's hand. Tutien's emotions break open. Jack finally admits he bought a ring, but he did because he didn't want her healing to feel like a deadline. Tutien asked him to open it